Before this video begins, I just want to quickly say, because I have made it clear that I'm a child before on this channel, and I'm getting into horror recently, so all the more 18 plus stuff I watched this year is all with like parental consent and supervision. And I just say that because the internet's the internet, and I don't want any abuse theories to start. If you still got any problems, I'm more than happy to take it up with you in the comments below. But other than that, enjoy the video. So film reviews are, and always have been, a core part of this channel. It's where I got my first 100 views, then my first 400, etc. Therefore my film reviews, they're often quite low effort, but I have fun making them, and that's kind of what counts. I make the videos for me, not for you. I'm sorry, go make your own YouTube channel. With 2025 behind us, I thought, how about I copy what all the other YouTube channels are doing and rank every film I watched in 2025. This will be a ranking from worst to best. If you want to see a tier list, I can do the same thing for gaming, because this is also, a gaming channel. That's what a lot of my long form videos are about. Or I do have some long form videos about films. One's about an album. But I'm not ranking all the songs I listened to in 2025, because I don't know how many songs I listened to in 2025, but I listened to a lot. So, yes, subscribe to join my mercenary company, and, I don't know how to end the intro. I don't know how to end intros. I need to get better at that. We'll kick things off in last place with Die Hard. Oh, I love Die Hard so much. It's my favourite Christmas film. I've never seen anything more Christmassy. Wow, I'm so happy that Halberd won't trash on it completely. If that's you, then what the actual fuck? I'm gonna begin this by just complaining about 80s culture in general. Why in every 80s film I watch is there a topless lady who's not wearing a bra? Like, the film could have been the exact same without it. It's with the 80s, the national single pandemic. And even then, I'm single. I watched the film. I'm still single. I saw the boobs, I'm still single. Why? I know I'm a child, that comes into play, but still, it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's out of the way. I still don't like this film at all. Character motivations make no sense. I've never heard the phrase yippee-ki-yay in all my life, so that did nothing for me. Why the hell did he take his shoes and socks off? That's pointless. You don't need to do that. When you land on an aeroplane, you say, oh, I just landed on an aeroplane. I'm going to subscribe to Halbert's Edge now. You don't take off your shoes and socks. It's ridiculous. And then why the hell was Alan Rickman trying to pretend to be terrorist? I thought Alan Rickman's first good role was I thought he was always good, but no, his first good role was in a film that's appearing later on, and the film later on. Now that's like the hook, yeah. Now you're gonna keep watching, because of the hook. Anyway, why does he drop the thing of C4 down the building? That is terrorism. I don't remember the name of the guy who's actually reasonable, who understands all these crimes the guy's committing, but the film is desperately trying to make you hate him, and it's failing miserably. I ask people who enjoy Die Hard earnestly why the main guy, forgot his name, he's really not very memorable. I asked earnestly why he dropped the C4. They say, oh, it was to make a point. Tell you what else is to make a point, mate? Every terrorist attack! It's so ridiculous. And I just don't like it at all. It's not a Christmas film. If you think it's a Christmas film, what the hell did you watch? Because it wasn't the film I just watched. I disliked it heavily. There's not much I can say about it other than I hated this film, and it's an easy last place. Every film needs to have 3 parts. There needs to be the the beginning, the problem, and the resolve, or like lack thereof. I don't know. There just needs to be one of those three, at least, to make it somewhat decent. At least, and if you're gonna go without one of them, you need a very talented director. But that's traditionally how it goes. In The Village, it seems the director got a bit too big for his boots because he just posed a bunch of problems with no answers. So I really liked the idea of being in a village with monsters attacking, Then you find out, oh, the monsters are just masks. Okay, weird, but I guess the film's still alright. No, none of the characters make any sense. There's a bit where just two people sit down, have a conversation, and then one of them all of a sudden just says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to marry you," and it's what? And then they go, and then they go out then one of them, and then someone. There's a guy who has a learning disability who stabs someone else for no reason. And then he gets locked away and finds the disguises. Then he runs at this person and dies. And then the person finds herself in the modern day. I don't know. I can't remember much about this film. I just remember I did not like it much in the start. It wasn't scary. It was kind of just weird and sad. Yeah. I didn't understand it. I would say I'm not the audience of this film, but I don't know who the audience is. If you enjoy this film, I'd like to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I did not like it at all, and I'm surprised anything came before it. So Alien is a film I've already made a film review short of. I believe that was my first ever film review short. Anyway, I shan't go into much details. You can just go watch the short, but I shall summarise it because I need there to be some form of reason that I've put Alien ridiculously low, even though it's like a cult classic. And main reason is that I just think it was my expectations, really. I thought that it would be more of a slasher, more of a titular alien goes around killing people. But no, it's about workplace politics, Bilbo Baggins being some sort of robot, android, that's what they're called, and John Hurt dying, and a cute little alien. And I just think maybe it was just my taste as a modern audience. But having said that, I watch stuff like Sharp and enjoy it. So I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I think that Ridley Scott isn't my kind of director, especially because I watch lots of history buffs. And if you know history buffs' thoughts on Ridley Scott, you'll know why I dislike him. Why is a Minecraft movie above Alien? I don't really enjoy Alien all that much, but I enjoyed it more than the Minecraft movie. This is what happens when you make a ranking months in advance and then just put off filming and doing voiceovers until the last minute, and you realise it's January 2026 and this video is going to be irrelevant soon. Anyway, it's the Minecraft movie. There are way better people who've made reviews of it, so go watch them. It was a fun film, and that was about it. I feel it wasn't very Minecrafty, but that was about it. Yeah, I've not really got much to say on it, really. Yeah. So when I first went to watch Wicked Part 1, I mainly went because it was a special showing, and if you were pink or green, you could get free Lego, and I wanted free Lego. And in fact, I was so convinced I wouldn't enjoy it, I brought a Lego minifigure with me to play with when I inevitably got bored. I ended up accidentally nearly eating him after I mistook him for popcorn. But that level of ignorance kind of shows I actually ended up like getting really invested and really enjoying that film. So I was really excited for Wicked Part 2. And then it came. And, well, Jeff Goldblum was, like, thoroughly underused. You know, he should have been the main character. He should have been all the characters. The twists and turns were pretty good, but there are two things that annoyed me mainly. First was the innuendo when Alpha says, "For the first time, I feel truly wicked." That's not how innuendos work. Innuendos, they're meant to be subtle. They're meant to be, like, just a hint, that, like, parents will get and children won't. That that won't leave children to say, "Mummy, why is Alphabet saying that?" Like, no. And the second one is she like goes off with Fiero, and who the whole point of being a scarecrow is that they've got no brains, they've got no heart. So like she's basically with an object, You could say that she's objectifying him and me. But it's the equivalent of me going off with an office chair. I personally think that it should have been a commentary on death and grief rather than just saying, "Oh, everybody lives." But that's just my problem with the actual story and not the film. I enjoyed The Sting. It was a very fun film. The main reason I put it here is because of the aging. The plot in itself is really good, but in modern films now they'd say the N word so much, and also the person who I was watching it with did quite a few times have to pause it to explain what was going on in the film. And I think with like a modern retelling, is it a remaster with films? Remake. If it had a remake, I think it'd be 10 times better personally. And it's for reasons entirely out of the film's control that I put it here. But it is like a genuinely good film with a really good twist. Yeah, I don't really have much of an interesting take on this film. Like, it was alright. I enjoyed it much more than Die Hard. I don't know, it was quite sexist at times. I don't know, I just quite liked it, really. That's about it. This is another film where I have made a full review of it, so, you can see my full thoughts there. But to summarise, I really liked the beginning, I thought it was very promising, but then the twist was just not great. I stopped caring for any of the characters, and it was just ended up being quite goofy. It's quite predictable who the killer was. That's about it. This is another one I've done a film review of. And to summarise, it was basically it ticked all the boxes for me, and it did like freak me out sometimes, but it just didn't do it for me. I personally don't really think Stephen King's like adaptations. I've never read a Stephen King book. I've got the audiobook of The Shining, which I'm trying to listen to. But I just personally think all Stephen King stuff just gets quite silly at times. I don't really want to watch it because it's just, oh, there's a massive cosmic turtle. Yeah, and I know it's because he was, on cocaine. But yeah, it just didn't do it for me, and I didn't understand why Samuel L. Jackson's face takes up half the goddamn poster when he's barely in the film. But it was good. Like, it not great, not terrible. Yeah. This was a fun film, I liked it. It was very cinematic. I liked the main theme. It was quite silly at times, but don't really care. I've never seen the original Top Gun, but like that didn't detract from my enjoyment. And also, I'm not someone who like commonly enjoys RAF stuff. Well, it's not the RAF if you're in America. If you're in America, it's probably something like the Freedom Airline. But here in the UK with the RAF, and I personally often prefer the ground stuff, and also like not nowadays, because nowadays you're not even badass. Like, you just got a gun and like start shooting people. like Napoleonic Wars, you actually had to put some effort into it. But nowadays it's just kind of bomb, bomb. It's not very exciting. But it is a fun film, and it was like a bit of a break from all the constant horror films I was watching at the time, because this was when I was like properly getting into horror. A break from The Descent and the Conjuring. Which, speaking of, yeah, this film was good. Like, it scared me a little. Well, not a little. Like, I jumped a lot, but I just felt it did get a bit silly at the end. I started vomiting blood going upside down, and Ed Warren just going omino domino, omino domino, and all that. I thought it was interesting. I like the architects of like ghost hunters, but in a lot of media that I've read, um, I like the way they portray them, like paranormal investigators. I just really don't like. It's way more fictionalized, and they try making up their whole world. Lockwood and Co, for example, I really don't like Lockwood and Co. But uh, yeah, it was. I don't know. I'm kind of just making noises at this point. But it was like a bit of like a few points higher than a meh, and that is MEH, not METH. You've seen this film, you know its peak. It's just down here because I think I preferred some of the other films above it. Having said that, the Doctor Who movie is above it, which is a bit of spoilers. But also, why did I put the Doctor Who movie above Jaws? Anyway, I doubt I need to explain myself for like why Jaws is good. Um, and next up, well, the text will hopefully flash up on screen now. No, I've never played a Resident Evil game personally. That might be some kind of blasphemous statement, but hey, I don't care. I can say what I want. But yeah, this film, I liked it. It was very fun, like creepy and all that, and the bit with the lasers, that's funny. Yeah, it makes you squirm when it wants to. The beginning, when Alice is naked, is a bit questionable, and when you know that the person who plays Alice was the director's wife, you can. It's a lot funnier when her husband dies. Like the film husband dies. And yeah, again, I don't really know. Like if I need to justify myself. Like apparently, I was told by someone that the Resident Evil films were bad. Like how? They're so. I really enjoyed it. It's really fun. And she's like proper cool, isn't she? Um. Uh. Yeah. I don't know if it is actually like Resident Evil. I hope it is. Because like if it is, then I want to play all the Resident Evil. I want to binge every Resident Evil game. But yeah, and I've not got much else to say, and I'm just kind of rambling. So I'll stop rambling now. Why is Predator Badlands this high on the list? Like I enjoyed it, but I put it above Resident. I put it above Jaws. Why did I do that? This is why I need to get on top of my tasks. I need to get on top of my. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to make videos while my opinions are fresh and not wait until all my opinions have changed. Anyway, yeah, I've got a film review on it. In fact, this was my most recent film review. It was a fun film. Kind of could guess where the plot was going. It was just badass, the film. I assume that's what all the Predator films are, really. But yeah, just badass. Anyone who knows me knows that I like Doctor Who. It's the best TV show I've ever watched. I would even go as far as to say it's the best thing I've ever watched. But the film left much to be desired. It all felt like it was a massive climax, and then it just decided, oh, we're running out of time, let's make it the conclusion. And then Paul McGann just decides to, like, after having one conversation with a random guy, that guy just goes on Paul McGann's side. Yeah, it don't make much sense. But hey, guess that's why there was never like a series of those films. Like, it didn't go down that well. TV show is definitely much better. And also, I know I said this before, but why is it so goddamn high on my list? It's the original Death on the Nile. Do I need to justify myself? Slay is a film I watched because I thought it looked funny, and I watched it, and it was funny. It was very funny. There was a bit that was wildly inappropriate, and I had to cover my ears. There was nothing on screen, but I had to. But like they were singing a song, the lyrics were wildly inappropriate. But yeah, this was just it was really fun. Very funny. It's about. And given it's on Tubby, you probably don't know it. So I will do my best to explain it to you. It's about a group of drag queens who book the wrong venue, and they accidentally go to this really shady biker bar. So they have to perform there, but then they get attacked by vampires. Yeah, it's all very silly. Like, it's a fun watch, but I wouldn't recommend it to a die-hard fan of horror. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's scary enough for a normal fan of horror, but maybe it's like too scary for just a fan of comedy. I know a lot of people kind of thought that the humour wasn't really on point, and I can respect that. But I personally liked it a lot, and for that reason, well, it's here. This is the second horror film I ever watched, not counting Deep Blue Sea, and I don't know why it's so far above Jaws, but I really enjoyed it. I got really invested with the characters, and I really liked it. The twist, it genuinely made me audibly gasp. Um, it did a very good twist on Turn of the Screw, I think, and that's why it's here. I'm going a lot lighter on the more popular films because you've probably seen them, and also because I'm lazy and this video is going to be really outdated soon, and I need to get it out. I don't often really like films that aren't in English. It's not like because of race or anything, it's just because I find it quite hard to follow, and I'm not very good at languages. The language I'm best at is Latin, which, kind of says it all. But Ballon is a film I could really get behind. It's about, say, a German family during the Berlin Wall and all that, trying to get from like East Germany to West Germany, or it might be in West Germany to East Germany. I've forgotten. It's quite moving and emotional. It's educational, but it's also got some like genuinely good moments that like give you goosebumps. There's one character, the lead antagonist, who's my favourite, and there's a bit where he's interrogating two guys who were on patrol on the Berlin Wall, or like just the general wall. I don't know. I can't remember the wall, but and he's interrogating, and he says, I'll translate it, and I'll say it as best I can remember. But he says something along the lines of, when I was your age, I used to be a swimmer, and I had a friend. He was a lifeguard. He was chill, very chill. But one day he was too chill, and he failed to notice someone. And now let me ask you this. How do you inform parents about a drowned 8-year-old? And that moment kind of just made me go, yeah, this is just a great film.
And so you said you've seen Frog.
Frog, we can read minds!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, do you have something to say about Frogman?
Yeah, you can read minds.
Okay, thank you. Scotty, do you want to...
Don't draw attention. He's...
What's in his hand?
That is a frog. He's got his hand up a frog's ass.
Rob with a tinfoil hat?
Oh, Alright. Okay, keep walking. Go.
Yeah, I liked Frogman. The great thing about Frogman is that a lot of horror films take themselves, like, really seriously. And it's all like, oh my god, my whole family has just died before my eyes. And, it's all just sad. Frogman, though, it managed to balance being sad, but it's also really funny. I don't know, in the clips I just showed you, it's my favourite character yelling Frogman can read minds. What else could you possibly want? It's genuinely like a really fun film. If you're not into horror, just watch the first half. I would personally say my one criticism of this film is that maybe it builds itself up quite a lot and then there isn't much of a payoff. But I think that a lot of people get a lot more out of it because I think compared to a lot of other found footage films, this is really good. But this was my first found footage film, so I don't think I got the full enjoyment out of it. And I think to fully enjoy it, maybe I should watch Blair Witch or something. This is another one that I've made a film review of, but this time I'm not going to say anything about the film because that film review I spent way too long on and I ended up getting into a massive copyright scuffle. So you can go watch that short film review. If you want my thoughts, go comment. I want this video to do well, but it didn't do well. Yeah, that's about it. I think this was one of the scariest films I've watched all year, and it really spoke to me on more of a personal level because I have one of my greatest fears is when I'm alone, I think that I'm being watched, and this is largely parts of the drawbacks of having a large imagination. I just think of horrific monstrosities that could be lurking behind the corner, This is part of the reason why in my Lethal Company videos you'll find me chickening out even though there's no monsters in sight. It's because I'm just thinking of what could be there instead of what is there, There could be some terrifying werewolf creature. I don't know. But I think one of my favourite parts about this, it wasn't the children dying, but it's the way the woman's there, and the way, even though, you kind of know what's going to happen, but even that way it shocks you, and Daniel Radcliffe's acting is amazing in it. I think he did better than he did in Harry Potter, which isn't saying much because in Harry Potter he was 11, but the way he managed to the majority of the film he's not even talking, he's kind of walking around this house, and I really like the whole concepts of everything, and I really liked it as a whole. In fact, it was my favourite horror film for a while until I rewatched another horror film and watched for the first time another film which isn't really a horror film, but I love it regardless. I've heard Host regarded as the second scariest horror film of all time, and I don't disagree. This is the last film on my list to have a film review about it. And now Host is about a group of people trying to perform a séance over a Zoom meeting, but of course someone cocks up, so it just ends up being scary death, scary death, scary death. There's one guy I didn't like, but you're probably not meant to. The acting was really well. They all acted like real people, I think, personally. If you want to get full enjoyment out of this film, just watch it. There really isn't much of a plot after the first 5 minutes, but it is. If you're into the scariness of horror, then watch it. It's like a it feels more of an experiment with a bunch of scares, more so than an actual film. But it's good regardless. I'd highly recommend. Last year, I watched my first full episode of Sharp, and it was Sharp's Battle. Don't ask me why it was Sharp's Battle, but it was Sharp's Battle. And honestly, I think this is my favourite episode. Mainly because I think not only is the story great, but also, Perkins, who's my favourite character, his death, I don't think the closest it has brought. This is the closest that fiction has brought me to tears since I finished Black Flag. Which, for those who know, that's like a proper emotional ending. Yeah, it's so sad. It does such a good job at making you hate the villains. And yeah, I could praise Sharp to oblivion, but I want to finish this video soon. So that's why it was in this place, which I've forgotten the place. I will only watch something War of the Worlds related if it is faithful to the original H.G. Wells novel. That Tom Cruise rubbish can get stuffed. That Amazon Prime ad can also get stuffed. The only piece of pop culture that I enjoy that's to do with the War of the Worlds is Jeff Wayne's musical version. And while I admit this is a play and not a film, I can do what I want because this is my YouTube channel and not yours. Go away! Now all the uneducated swine are out of here, I shall say why it's here. This is largely because I had the pleasure of going to see it at the Co-op Live, where Jeff Wayne was there, and a recording of Liam Neeson. And the songs are so good. It's it manages to tell the story beautifully, and it has the honour of being a soundtrack that I used to go to sleep to. In fact, I still do occasionally, and for that reason, I've placed this in third place. It is common sense that the best part of any film is the sword fighting, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, had a lot of sword fighting. This is the film that was Alan Rickman's best performance, if you remember what I said about it from Die Hard, my Die Hard section of the video, which I recorded ages ago, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. This video is driving me crazy. But anyway, the comedy is great, the action is great, the acting is great. You can tell I'm getting really lazy as this video goes further and further on. But I've also got way less to say. I just think this is one of the best films I've watched all year. Some of the lines are so good.
Nothing there but trouble, boy. I'm gonna cut your heart out with a spoon! Then it begins.
Why a spoon, cousin? Why not an axe?
Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more.
Well, at least I didn't use a spoon.
And, the fights are, really good too. Morgan Freeman did a good job, and so did whoever played Robin Hood. I don't know. I just know it's Morgan Freeman because I was vaguely watching the credits. But yeah, overall, really good film, and that's why it's in second place. And finally, in first place, out of all the films watched in 2025, the best was... Hang on, I've miscounted. There are 27 films on my list. This is meant to be second place. Oh god, I'm gonna have to edit everything now. Oh, I'm not doing that actually. Just to pretend that didn't happen. In second place is The Descent. Now, the first time I watched The Descent, I talked the whole way through because I'm a little shoe rag. Comedy at its finest, people. Anyway, but I rewatched it recently, and I have to say, I highly regret talking through it, because this is one of the best horror films I've ever watched. Very few films have made me feel the way The Descent does. I think everything in it feels deserved. Like all the violence, you could probably have it without the violence, but I don't think it would be quite the same film. All of it is necessary. There's no, for example, with Die Hard, there's no unnecessary boob scenes. It's just a normal film. Well, no, it's not normal. It's terrifying. But you know what I mean. The jump scares are peak, and the ending is amazing. I feel bad for all Americans because, well, not only are you stuck to your sofa, but also you can't witness the better ending. But even though this film I could praise to oblivion, there is one film that is above it. And that film is time for an honourable mention! This year I watched Zulu multiple times, and it's not on my list because I have watched it before, but Zulu is one of my all-time favourite films. The action scenes are some of the best in cinema history. It's incredibly historically accurate. It tells like a really good story with Michael Caine's character, and it's got Michael Caine in it. The action is amazing. I might have said that already, and I think it's so amazing as well how they did it all without CGI and stuff, and it puts the MCU and all that rubbish to shame. Oh yeah, I watched an MCU film in 2025 that I didn't put on this list. I didn't really like it. It was every other action adventure film smooshed into one. I should have added that to my list. Hey ho, sucks to be you. But now it is time for number 1. Now all of you do a drum roll, kids. Please do a drum roll and subscribe to join my mercenary company. I've only got 18 subscribers at time of recording, and it would mean a lot if you subscribed. It doesn't mean a lot if you commented, because having a small channel and having a comment, it's really exciting. So yeah, do that as well. If I'm gonna be a children's YouTuber, then to reveal the answer. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you in 3, 2. I just need one nice person to click the laughing disco emoji. Sorry. I need to just stop procrastinating, or however you say that word. The film number 1 I watched 25 is, and if you see my full review of it, you probably are guessing it's here, but it is Shark Side of the Moon. So that is every film I watched in 2025 ranked, except Avengers Assemble, which I completely forgot about until now. Now, if you want me to watch any other film, feel free to comment below. It'll also boost my video in the algorithm if you comment. But still, just do it. And I've not got much else to say, so and sod off and get a life.